Ciao tutti, buongiorno. Are you ready to cook like an Italian? I sure hope so. I'm Chef Jan, and today I want to teach you some of the secrets to a good polenta. People love polenta, but they have a challenge making it because sometimes it turns out too gummy, too hard and firm. I'm going to give you some secrets to make a smooth and creamy polenta, and then I'm going to give you a recipe for doing it the next day, because when polenta firms up, you can slice it and grill it. Oh, it's so good. So I want to thank my sponsors, Queen Creek Olive Mill in Queen Creek, Arizona, for providing the beautiful olive oils and balsamics and olives to the show, and also Arizona Farm Bureau. I've learned so much about farm to table, getting to know the farmers, getting to know what your crops are in your state. So important. You know, there's a saying that our existence is possible because of 6 inches of topsoil and rain, and that's where all the nutrients are. So cornmeal, grain coming out of the soil in Arizona is so important, because when the rest of the country is freezing, we are producing every single day things that you need for your table. Okay, how to make the perfect polenta. You can't just use cornmeal. That's one of the problems. It makes it too firm. You can't just use polenta, it makes it too soft. So you want a combination of cornmeal and polenta. You can actually find polenta in the stores now, and it says polenta. They never used to be able to do that, but now because polenta is so popular, you can just buy it. So half and half. You want to start with a big pot of boiling water and a little bit of salt. Now, my mama taught me to rain the cornmeal in. And so you don't want any lumps. It's like mashed potatoes. You don't want lumps, right? Well, you don't want lumps in your polenta. So you're going to stir it, and then you're going to take your polenta and your cornmeal and let it rain into the pot as it's cooking. That way you get no lumps, and you get a real feel for how soft or firm the polenta is. So let it rain. You're going to add half of the batch first. You're going to cook it for a few minutes with the lid on. Take the lid off and finish it with the rest of the cornmeal and polenta. Just make sure that the consistency it's like cream of wheat. You want it to be smooth, no lumps, and this is absolutely perfect for cacciatore, for pasta with just a little bit of sauce on it. Okay, so this is how I want your polenta to look. It just drips off that spatuloon. And by the way, this is one of the reasons I created my bamboo cooking utensils called spatuloons. It's a takeoff of the Scottish spurtle, and the spurtle used to stir the porridge, and I fell in love with an antique spurtle, and I had them made. So they're for righties and lefties. They won't stain in berry juice or meat sauce, and they're just wonderful. They come in a set of 3, and you can find them on my website at jandiatri.com. They work amazing for this dish. Okay, once you've got your polenta and you've fed your family, the next day the polenta is going to firm up. You're going to cut it into a nice big piece, just like this. You're going to get a hot skillet with a little bit of butter or maybe a little bit of olive oil, and you're going to just grill it until it's got some nice grill marks on each side, okay? That's all you have to do because the polenta is already cooked. But now what you're going to do, when I was a little girl, I never liked polenta for dinner, but I loved it the next morning, so I would always beg Mama to make polenta. I liked it, but it just, this is my favorite. You're going to take that grilled polenta, put it in a bowl. Now, you're going to add some sugar and some cream or milk or half and half, and pour that right on top. The warm polenta, the sugar, the cream. Oh my goodness. The kids are going to love it, and they don't even have to be Italian kids. They're going to love this. This is the way to go. So make polenta for that night for dinner, and then have it the next day. I'm a little Italian girl again. Oh, it's so good. You've got to try that. Okay, that's your polenta. When we come back, we're going to make a really popular Italian appetizer. Calamari, right from the sea. We're gonna go to Amalfi Coast, grab the calamari, come back here and cook it up. Welcome back to Cook Like an Italian. Right now we're going to do a really popular Italian appetizer, calamari. I've spent some time in southern Italy along the Amalfi Coast, and let me tell you something, they know how to do calamari right. It's just one of those dishes that we just love to munch on. So today we're using fresh calamari, and I'm going to start with the dipping sauce because you always have to have something yummy and zesty and delicious to dip that deep fried calamari in. So the dipping sauce starts with some mayonnaise. It also calls for garlic, and in this recipe it's not minced or chopped garlic, it's microplaned, it's grated garlic, and that's going to give you all the flavor that you could possibly need. A little bit of soy sauce. We're going to add some sweetness with honey. We've got some chili sauce here. You can use a hot sauce, you can use a chili sauce. I love it really zesty. This is going to give it the zest, lime zest. This just makes everything so bright and wonderful. And then we're going to go ahead and use a teaspoon or two of the lemon juice from that, lime juice from that lime. And the last thing is 24 dashes of Worcestershire sauce. 24 dashes. You know what? It looks like about a teaspoon and a half. So that goes in there. And then we're just going to end it with a little bit of salt. This gets mixed together. Boy, that is a yummy combination, don't you think? That's going to go perfect with the calamari. It's like it's a cocktail sauce with a little bit of a zest. Beautiful. Okay, we're going to set that aside. Now let's talk about breading the calamari. What you're going to do is slice your calamari into about 3/4 inch tubes, and then we're going to leave the squiggly things whole. This is buttermilk, and it's been soaking in buttermilk for 30 minutes. Why buttermilk? Well, buttermilk is it's gonna tenderize the calamari, it's gonna break down the fiber, and it's also gonna get rid of that fishy smell. So you're gonna do this for about a half an hour. I know what you're thinking. I have to go to the store and buy 1 quart of buttermilk and I only need 1 cup. I hear that all the time. You never have to buy buttermilk again as long as you live. What you're gonna do is get 1 cup of farm fresh whole milk and add about 3 or 4 tablespoons of an acid. So I'm using distilled white vinegar. You could use lemon juice as well. You're going to stir that up. It's already thickening, and in 15 minutes you've got the most beautiful buttermilk. In the old days, the old-timey cookbooks, they used to call it sour milk. Everybody cooked with sour milk. That's what that is. So now you don't have to throw away 3 cups of buttermilk. Okay, now that this is soaked, I'm going to prepare the batter, and that is about 3 cups of flour. I've got cornstarch here. The cornstarch is going to really help bind everything. A little bit of baking powder. We'll do the same thing. Then I've got some oregano, pepper, garlic powder, salt, and got to have some red pepper flakes. So we'll mix all that together. I've got my deep fried pan all ready to go. I've got oil in there at 375 degrees. The perfect deep frying temperature is between 365 and 375. So you always want to make sure it's that high. You don't want oily calamari. You want to get them in crisp and out. Okay, let's head on over to the stove and let's cook these babies up. So my little calamari rings have been soaking in the buttermilk, and then I've drenched them in that flour mixture, and they go right into a 375 degree. I'm going to pull that out because that's 378. And this is not going to take long at all. Be really careful. You want to step back because the liquid, you know, the buttermilk and the oil can have a tendency to flatter, but this is doing pretty good. Ooh, look at that. Nice. Oh, those are frying up really wonderful. It's okay to buy frozen calamari and thaw them out. They're just as good. Unless you're in the Amalfi Coast, then that would be a no-no. Looking good. This is only going to take a couple of minutes. Now remember my tip from an earlier show. When you deep fry something, you always want to deep fry in half oil and half Crisco. That's the magic formula for getting a longer frying temperature without the oil burning. That Crisco is fantastic for fried chicken, for the Italian donut holes that we made this week. I want to give them, ooh, those look good. I want to give them just another second. I have a lot of calamari in here. By the way, what is the difference between squid and calamari? Do you know? Well, squid is the actual fish, and calamari is what you eat. So that's the prepared, the preparation of the squid. All right, almost there. Now, a lot of times when you put a lot of items in the deep fryer, of course that oil is going to lower in temperature, so you'll want to just make sure. Okay, these are looking really good. Don't they look great? They're crispy and crunchy. That buttermilk tenderized them. And oh my goodness, I can't wait to dive in. This is just a lovely Italian appetizer that is just super popular all over the country. I'm going to just finish it off with a little bit of, just a little bit of parsley for color. And there we have deep fried calamari in a beautiful dipping sauce. And then earlier we made my mama's polenta, and you know the tips to that. Half cornmeal, half polenta, and then you want to rain that cornmeal and polenta into your boiling water. I want to thank you so much for joining me today, and thank you for letting me share my Italian heart with you. I hope you make these recipes. You'll find lots of beautiful Italian dishes in my cookbook, Mama and Me and You, and I have a second book called Rescued Recipes. And the spatula that I was using, you can find all of that on my website at jandiatri.com. I want to thank my sponsors, Queen Creek Olive Mill, for providing beautiful olive oils for my show, and the Arizona Farm Bureau, who has taught me from farm to table that it's so important to get to know our farmers, get to know our soil, and eat nice and healthy, okay? Have a wonderful day. We will see you next time when we cook like an Italian.